Tonight, our community watchdog investigation uncovered more cases of abuse and neglect involving people with intellectual disabilities in Greene County. Cases the state confirms its investigators never reported to police.
Yeah, they occurred at group homes run by the Department of Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities. Once again, Nate Morabito's questions are prompting change.
That's right. The district attorney told me he wants the state to contact his office and law enforcement every time there's a substantiated case of abuse and neglect, and not just at Green Valley Developmental Center, but at state-run group homes too. Since we first raised questions about the handling of past abuse and neglect cases at Green Valley,
there's a problem that needs to be fixed, and I will do what I can to fix it.
We found other substantiated cases. Public records reveal DIDD internal investigators substantiated 6 instances since 2009 at some of the 16 state-run group homes in Greene County. On a rainy day in 2013, a worker reportedly took away a man's umbrella, but only after first shaking it over his head to get the man wet, apparently because he wasn't moving fast enough. Investigators also determined that same person physically abused another resident, putting his arm around the resident's shoulder and neck and pulling that person backwards. In 2014, another case of physical abuse involving a different worker, a person who reportedly physically restrained a resident in a recliner and wheelchair. The initial allegation? Staff got irritated with the person when that resident tried to get up. The worker used her elbow to push the resident back down. There's also this neglect case from 2015, when a nurse reportedly gave a resident medication with the wrong spoon, which resulted in the person vomiting multiple times. The report says the nurse then used the same spoon to scrape up the vomit from the resident's chest and put it back in the resident's mouth.
We believe that every case is a problem, and any time a person is substantiated, there are consequences.
That's what DIDD told us last month during an interview in Nashville. A spokesperson says of the 6 group home cases since 2009, the agency fired 4 people and suspended another worker. One case had no known perpetrator.
When we do suspect criminal activity, we do contact local law enforcement.
Kara Kumari says none of those cases involve suspected criminal activity, but the DA says that's not for internal investigators to decide.
I believe any substantiated neglect or abuse case needs to go to not only law enforcement, but needs to come to this office.
DIDD has told us there's a difference between the civil definition of abuse and the criminal definition. So we took a look. Take a look right here on its website. DIDD calls abuse the knowing infliction of injury, unreasonable confinement, intimidation, or punishment with resulting physical harm, pain, or mental anguish. I took a look at Tennessee Code annotated today as well. It defines assault as, quote, intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly causes bodily injury to another, intentionally or knowingly causes another to reasonably fear imminent bodily injury, or intentionally or knowingly causes physical contact with another, and a reasonable person would regard the contact as extremely offensive or provocative, end quote. By the way, DIDD tells us it did not refer any of the cases we mentioned for placement on the state's abuse registry.